welcome back to another episode on Anxiety Doesn't Own Me podcast. My name is Emmanuel Isaacson, and I'm an anxiety coach who helps people to overcome and heal their anxiety naturally. On today's episode, what we're going to be talking about is how we need, for anxiety strugglers, that we need to be consistent and stay consistent with a certain lifestyle in order for us to be anxiety free. Like for me, for example, that whenever I was overcoming my anxiety, which was not an easy thing to do, of course, as you guys know, I realized that one of the things that helped me to calm my anxiety down was for me to take walks in nature. And I realized even until today, this is something that I need to be consistent with in order for me to feel calmer, in order for me to, in a way, relieve my stress. So that is something that really helps me in order for me to calm down. But as you see, even after 9 years of being anxiety free, I'm still consistent with it. It's something that I need to continuously do. And whenever I am dealing with people to overcome their anxiety, I always try to work on them. I always try to work with them and to figure out what helps them to calm down, what helps them to feel much better, what helps them to feel that not feel anxiety. And whenever we find out what that is, we need to stay with it. And the reason why is that, think about it this way. What has caused you to have anxiety? There's certain things in your life that has increased your anxiety. And if you continuously do those things, what happens is that you're always going to have anxiety. So even if right now you're having a certain mindset, let's say if you are afraid of panic attack, it's going to happen when you go to a certain place. What's going to happen is that you're always going to have a panic attack whenever you go to that place, unless we change the way we think about the place, unless we change the way we think about the situation. But if we are just being consistent in a negative way, what's going to happen? We're going to get the same result. So we need to change. We need to change the way we look at it and be consistent with that. So, for example, if we are looking at things in a very negative way, we need to start changing it more in a positive way. If we're eating unhealthy, we need to start eating healthier, but we need to be consistent with it. And I remember I spoke about this in the last episode about whenever we're trying to eat healthier, because it's very important for the physical body, which again, for some people is not an easy thing. And this is why I say take it slow. You don't have to do it every single meal, but you want to take it with one meal. One meal a day, be healthy in that meal and be consistent with it. If you start being consistent with it, you start getting used to it. And when you start getting used to it, it's going to be easier for you to take the next step in starting doing 2 meals. But whenever we jump and we become extreme on it, and a lot of people with anxiety, we are extremists. We're either all in or we're not, or that we are perfectionists. We are big perfectionists, right? So we need to, like, either we're doing it all in or we're not. But the thing is, that's not going to help us to stay consistent. It doesn't help us to stay consistent. And what we need to do is more take it step by step. When we take it step by step and we're consistent with those steps, we're going to have lasting results that we want. And Anthony Robbins, he says about change. For change to be of any true value, they've got to be lasting and consistent. So if we are willing to make a change, so let's say we want to overcome our anxiety, in order for us to have that change to be 100%, we have to be consistent. If you want that lasting relief from anxiety, we have to be consistent in overcoming our anxiety and do what's necessary and doing what's necessary in order for us to overcome it. This will have that lasting relief. This way we're okay. You know what? I've been doing this for quite some time, and I know I do this with people in my sessions. What happens is that we work on the subconscious mind, and I always tell them, listen, it's going to take some time, but if you're consistent with it, you will start seeing the results that you want. But if you're looking for that quick and easy solution, it's going to go as quickly as it came, because easy come, easy and go. But if you work on it and you take the hard road, and I know people don't want to hear that, and I didn't want to hear that. I don't want to take the hard road. Who over here wants to take the hard road? Nobody does. Everyone wants the easy road. And this is one of the reasons why I wanted to take medication. This is the reason why, because I was just sick and tired of dealing with my anxiety. I was sick and tired of going through this struggle every single day, day in and day out, nobody understanding what I'm going through, feeling completely lost. My life is completely turned upside down. Everything that I want to do is not completely different. I feel like a changed person. I feel like I'm lost. I feel like I'm losing my mind, and nobody is able to help me. So I wanted to take the medication because I thought the solution, but the medication itself is not the solution. Of course, it's just, for some people, maybe a crutch, and I believe more the natural route, and this is why I created Calmly, because Calmly helps you to calm down. Again, it's a CBD that helps you to specifically with your anxiety. And there's a lot of research about CBD and the benefits it is. They've done a ton of research that has helped people with their anxiety. And I will link that in the description below so you can take a look at the research yourself and see how beneficial it is for your anxiety and the things that can help you out with it, also with your depression. And this is more the natural route than taking the medication route if you're not interested in that. I know a lot of people are scared about the CBD, and I just want to let you know that the CBD is not a psychedelic, so it doesn't get you high. And I know this is something that's a big trigger for me, because my trigger was the reason why, again, my trigger was from smoking marijuana. That was my trigger. So I wouldn't provide people with these things if it didn't help them at the end of the day, and it wouldn't cause you more anxiety. Because if with the medication, and again, I'm not knocking down the medication or anything like that, a lot of people, why they don't want to take the medication is because of the side effects. And I was looking at something that can provide you guys, and to develop something to be able to provide you guys with something that's going to help you with your anxiety, give you that crutch so that you can calm down your panic attacks, so that you can calm down your anxiety, your symptoms, so that you're able to do things, so you feel like you are back in control, so you have something to help you up at the end of the day. And that's really important. And that's something that we do need. And even with that, we want to stay consistent with it so that we can have that relief and start building our mindset at the same time. But consistency, guys, consistency is key over here. It is key, and that's something that we need to stay with. And we can start with something small. We don't have to, again, jump on everything and change our entire lives. It's going to be very hard for us to do. We can take one thing at a time. One thing. If somebody in your life that is causing you anxiety, your relationship is not good. It can be your spouse, it can be your friend, it can be your parents, whatever it is, we can start working on that and say, okay, how can I build boundaries with this person to make sure that I don't experience anxiety? Because my mental health is important. It is. Nobody is going through what you're going through. You're living with yourself. You understand. You're living 24/7 with yourself. So you are the one that's struggling. So if there's some people out there that are causing that, we need to set up boundaries. Again, we can take small steps with that. And if that's too big, start off with something smaller. Whatever it is, we want to be consistent. For me, what I tried to be consistent with was taking walks, going to the park, sitting there for 10, 15 minutes, whatever it is. Just seeing that calmness helps me tremendously. Even talking about it, I can picture myself in the park. It helps me to calm down. Even until today, whenever I feel overwhelmed, I have so many things going on, I feel stressed out, if I go take a walk in the park, someplace with a lot of nature, I honestly just calm down. And this is very hard for me in the wintertime. It is very hard for me here in New York in the wintertime because there is no place that I can just take a walk. It's freezing outside and I don't like the cold, so it's hard for me. So I need to find something else. So what I did, I go to the gym and I just walk on the treadmill. I walk on the treadmill. I was even thinking about getting a VR set to be able to put on me to picture myself in a tropical place or some place that has nature, just for me to be able to calm down. That also kind of helps. I never tried it before, but I've done research and they have shown that even with the VR, and of course it's not the same as walking in actual nature, but even with the VR, like for me, from my example over here, that I'm in the wintertime over here and I can't do that, but it does show that in the scientific report, They did a study, and it shows it does decrease the worry and the panic that we may be experiencing, so it helps us to feel much calmer. And also another study on PubMed, they examined the effects of virtual nature on young adults and senior citizens. And this study found that walking in virtual forests reduces the negative effects due to enhanced nature, and it reduces the stress, and it helps you to calm down. So there is benefits to doing that. But again, each person can be different, and you can try it out and see if it works for you. But at the end of the day, again, we have to be consistent with it. We need to try different things. So if, let's say, for example, the VR doesn't work for me, it doesn't help me to calm down, or if there's other things, I heard that there is a certain light, I think it's called a winter light, if I'm not mistaken, that helps with depression, that helps you to feel less anxious. Because some people, let's say in colder climates, they don't see the sun as often, which does have an effect. It does have an effect. So they buy this light that helps them, and I heard that it helps. But again, we need to try it out to see if it works or not. We don't know if it's going to work for us because each person's going to have a different kind of effect. So you know what? For me, let's say for me, for example, is going to the beach and walking in nature. For some people, that's not really going to help them calm down. Like for me, for another thing that helps me to calm down is the breathing exercise. The breathing exercise has proven to help to reduce anxiety, to help you to calm down and be in the moment. But for some people, it makes them feel more anxious. So it doesn't really help them. But we need to try different things. And even with that, we need to be consistent, to try different things, to try new things, to explore. But again, taking it step by step. We don't have to jump and say, you know what, I'm going to do this now, something extreme. Let's say for someone that's afraid of walking out of their house, we don't have to take a road trip. No, we can just take a step every single time, every single day outside of our house, and increasing that step every single day and be consistent with that, so that eventually we get to the place where we're taking a road trip, so that we're no longer afraid of it. But the key over here, the key is to stay consistent. And you may fall, by the way. You may mess up, and then you may go backwards. But we need to pick ourselves up. And that's going to happen, that we may fall backwards. We may feel like, hey, this is not helping me. Maybe we need to be consistent with it for quite some time in order for us to get the results, in order for us to see the results. Because sometimes, again, we're just looking for that quick solution. And with anxiety, and I think with everything in life that comes good, it does take time. It's not something that can just come out of nowhere and there's like, hey, this is the solution. Like I thought the medication was just a solution, but really it was just a crutch. And that's something that I was looking to do, but I didn't take that route at the end of the day. And I took the route of building more my mindset and not relying on the medication. Because I do know a lot of people, again, that have been stuck in this marketing, unfortunately, of the medication being the solution, and to show them that that's a solution is kind of hard, because I understand the pain. And like that gave them some relief. And again, if that's going to help you, then take it, then continue with it. And I'm not gonna tell you what to do and what not to do. That's something that you need to decide for yourself. But if that's something that you see, like, you know what, that is helping me, great. But we shouldn't just rely on that. And even people that I tell about the Calmly, I tell them, listen, you don't rely on the Calmly. Use it as a crutch. Use it as a crutch in the meantime, so that you can start developing yourself, develop your mindset, because the reason why we have anxiety came from somewhere. It didn't come out of nowhere. It came from somewhere, and we need to deal with that. We need to work on those things in order for us to stop taking anything and just be the person that we once was. That's where we want to be, and that's where we could get. But guys, just to conclude over here, we want to be consistent whatever we're doing, and more in a positive way, and to work on it, and to start seeing that change. And it will take time. Remember, it will take time, but eventually we'll get to that place where we'll feel that effects and start seeing the results that we're looking for, and to be able to be anxiety-free. If you did like this episode, please click the like button and leave a 5-star review. The reason why I ask is because this way we're able to reach more people, and the more people that we can actually reach, the more people that we can actually help. Because my mission in this world, my purpose, is to help people to overcome and heal their anxiety naturally, and show them that it's possible to overcome. Thank you guys, take care, and I'll see you guys in the next episode.